Kazakhstan president tells troops to shoot to kill without warning, as he vows to completely eliminate protesters and gives special thanks to Putin for his help.
Here's a summary of the article.
Fresh gunshots could be heard in the morning near the city's central square, where troops and protesters had battled through much of the previous day. Dozens of people have been killed in clashes on the streets, and protesters have torched and ransacked public buildings in several cities in the worst violence in the Central Asian state's 30 years of independence. A former banker who casts himself as the leader of the Kazakh opposition protests said Kazakhstan is now in geopolitical play, and unless the West enters the fray, then Russia will bring the Central Asian Republic to heel in a type of restored Soviet Union. Every day the protesters call me and ask, "What should we do? We are standing here. What should we do?" The Almaty airport, stormed and seized earlier by the protesters, was back under the control of Kazakh law enforcement and CSTO peacekeepers, Russian Defense Ministry spokesman Major General Igor Konashenkov said Friday. The youth is believed to have been from the KNB Border Guard Service Academy, which was targeted by protesters. Many protesters shouted, "Old man out," in reference to Nazarbayev, and a statue of the ex-leader was torn down in the southern city of Taldy Korgan.
This post received a score of 6,100, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
I guess Kazakhstan's president chose to become a Russian puppet over losing power. Not all that surprising really.
It isn't like Kazakhstan is a power-broken nation in the first place. That, and he can probably live his life in luxury as Putin and his friends clean up the mess.
They export more uranium than anyone else, if I remember right. That's a huge deal, and precisely why Russia is doing this. This is a lot more important than you realize.
It's fairly important to the Russian space program, as well as a symbol of projected Russian influence.
I'm seeing a girl from Kazakhstan and she hasn't been able to reach her family for the past week because the government has shut down the internet and phone services outside of the country. I feel terrible for her, so I'm doing everything I can to help her. All the banks are shut down as well. So, she's unable to get money from the banks or switch banks. Pretty fucked. Hope she's okay, man. Horrible situation. Thank you. She's been doing a little better today.
Great. So when is the first season of WW3 starting?
Kazakhstan is in Central Asia and already part of the Russian Economic Union. No one else has any interest in trying to intervene in the area, and they couldn't get there even if they wanted to, since it would mean overflying thousands of kilometers of Russia, China, Iran or Pakistan.
What you're describing is that first tiny domino, which tips and starts knocking into progressively bigger ones.
Kazakhstan has been tied to Russia for more than 3 centuries. It's a continuation of an old status quo. The tipping dominoes that are setting off everything else are U.S. economic decline and foreign policy failure, and they've been falling for close to 2 decades now.
Take a good look. This is what happened when tyrants are in power.
The Netflix series, How to Be a Tyrant, really does put this shit in perspective. Tyranny can and will happen anywhere if we don't take the signs seriously. History really does rhyme with itself and will follow the same general playbook.
Don't know why you're being downvoted. That show does a great job showing how these things happen.
This guy sounds like a bit of a dick.
As a soldier, at news like this, I always wonder, why the fuck are they shooting civvies? Scum.
You send people from other countries or different regions specifically to prevent them from having doubts. Russians did the same shit in occupied Poland. If you were conscripted from south of the country, you'd be sent to the sea and so on.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.